President Trump reminded us once again, not for the first time, yesterday, I believe it was, on Hannity, that this Iran war, was for Israel. And he named the Gulf nations after that. And I don't know how it could have been for them. They took the brunt. Our bases are destroyed, uninhabitable. In any case, it wasn't for us, this Iran war. We get the bills, the higher prices. And you mentioned delinquencies. I read from a good account on X, Hedgeye, federal student debt loans, 90 plus days delinquent hits a new all-time high. Credit card delinquencies are highest since 2011. Auto loan delinquencies, 32-year high. We're being tapped out here as the president went for Israel and supposedly the Gulf nations to war. And we're not getting away with this one because the Hormuz has been closed for almost 3 months now we're approaching. This is unprecedented, which means the unprecedented bad stuff is coming, and we're already hitting the delinquencies. All of this is the exact opposite of what the president campaigned to do with his red hat, dancing on the stage. He worked so hard to get elected, speech after speech after speech. America thought they were getting America first. Went for Israel, Gulf nations, we're getting the bills.
It's something that eventually will lead to the need to reconfirm that the founders were right when they said only gold and silver ought to be legal tender. And that is not acceptable right now, but more and more it's talked about, and eventually something will have to happen. So it's a big job. But in spite of it all, I still remain optimistic that there are vehicles to get the truth out. And I believe the large number of American people are really, when they understand it, are favorable to liberty over totalitarianism. Chris?
That's right, Dr. Paul. And I would say that that election of President Trump, people were expecting that we were going in a direction of liberty. So I think the American people overall have their heads on straight, and want the right things. But we can't get a government that'll do it. And the reason is, and maybe this will help some people, the government they're masterful at narrative creation. We all know, we've all seen parents when they have children crying, they'll distract, they'll be like, look over here, and the kid will, eventually stop crying and maybe even start laughing. Well, the government does the same thing over and over with the American people. They go from one ripoff to the next by saying, look over here, look over here. Now, the government, though, they don't make us laugh. They use fear. That is the most powerful emotion that they appeal to. I mean, we could go back 100 years, but we'll just start with COVID. Right after, as that was falling apart, they went into Putin's going to invade, all of Europe, the fear that was created, and we were ripped off for hundreds of billions of dollars. And Putin's not invading Europe, and now we're on to the president keeps repeating on a non-existent nuclear weapon in Iran. So they go from one fear to the next, one ripoff to the next, but eventually it's going to stop working. And this Hormuz is going to hit us harder than all the other ones because the other ones, it's something that happens out there. This oil is a part of every aspect of our life. And we may hit the time where the American people aren't into, look over here anymore. They're going to be mad enough to where real change is going to happen. When that is, whether or not that's coming anytime soon, who knows? Nobody knows the future. But eventually, their distraction and moving from one to the next is going to fail.